Hey guys, what's up? Sermo11 here with my review of the Powerpuff Girls 2016 version, Episode 1. I'm finally reviewing it after all this time. Finally, you get to watch my review if you wanted to watch it. I will be reviewing some other episodes from the Powerpuff Girls 2016. I just have to actually watch the episodes and review them. So, my friends and I actually watched an episode of Powerpuff Girls at college, but it wasn't the first episode, so I will be reviewing that episode later on, and that was the episode focusing on Buttercup. It's good that Cartoon Network is bringing back some old shows. I don't really know if this will be a trend or not with the network. Ben 10 is also being rebooted, but in my opinion, that show is way too long to start over. I mean, I think Ben is in college at this point, or at the college level, so the kids that watch Ben 10 at whatever young age, they're in college now as well, because I mean, when I was young I watched it, now I'm in college, so I'm applying that logic to this. So just keep it going, that's what I would say. But I will be watching the Ben 10 reboot. Cartoon Network also has way too many shows on their network at the moment, so they might want to stop, because if they're going to keep adding more and more shows, they're eventually going to run out of time to air all these shows, and some of them air too much. Hint, hint. So, are there any shows that you'd like to see return to Cartoon Network? That's a question. Leave your comment. We're done with that. Anyways, the episode, you know, the reason why you came here. We have a new intro song for the Powerpuff Girls, and it's alright. I feel like the old intro should have just been updated. You know, what if you're learning about the Powerpuff Girls for the first time? This new intro doesn't really have the same effect as the old one did, and you don't really know what's going on or how they were created. The old intro just made it easy to jump into the Powerpuff Girls at any episode at any time. And this intro, I don't know, I wouldn't even call it like hip or new or anything. It's just something. It's not bad. It's not that good either. It's just all right. So the show starts off with the girls obsessing over a band called Sensitive Thugs, and Bubbles wins tickets to see the band and has to choose between her two sisters, you know, who she's going to take with her. And before making a decision, the girls are called by the mayor, who ends up crashing on Monster Island. Oh, and their house phone is now a smartphone. I kind of prefer the old design. I thought that was something that didn't really need to be upgraded. I mean, some people still use house phones. Not everyone uses a smartphone as their house phone. I was actually surprised to learn that some of my friends don't have house phones. Like, they all use their cell phones. That's foreign and weird to me. So, the mayor has the same voice actor, it seems. And I'm kind of wondering why the Powerpuff Girls didn't have their original voices in this new Powerpuff Girls or whatever. And I said at the beginning, like before the show aired and I saw some clips, I said it didn't matter when a lot of fans were like freaking out over this issue, but it kind of does matter about the voice actors and everything, but I'll get into that later. It's just like I'm not a big fan of the voices at the moment. So the girls arrive at Monster Island, and Bubbles meets a monster that she names Frederick. And I wonder, will this monster be a reoccurring character in the show? The island is crazy as monsters are fighting left and right, and Buttercup is encouraging this behavior, and I thought it would have been great and so current for her to pull out her cell phone and start recording it, and maybe have her yell World Star or something like that, or maybe their version of World Star. That would have been funny. I'm sure some people would have found it ghetto, but I think that would have been a great moment in the first episode. I would have loved it. So, the girls start following the mayor's footprints on the island while Blossom and Buttercup argue with each other, and the girls end up falling underground, and they're not in a volcano, or I think they were either in a volcano or under a volcano. So, Buttercup gets Blossom trapped in a jinx, and for some reason, this means she can't use her ice breath, so you'd rather get killed than save your lives. At this point, it didn't really seem like a reboot to me. It seemed like more of a continuation. I don't know if they're going to be repeating some plots, because I saw that, minor spoiler, I saw that the octopus toy was, they made an episode focusing on that. So, it's not like a complete reboot, but Blossom already has her ice breath, you know. In the original, she found out that she had this power in an episode, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of the villains in the show are already established, or at least the old ones. I don't know how they're doing this, but I just thought it was an odd choice to leave in the ice breath, and then, You know, are they going to introduce like the professor, or are they going to introduce like I mean, the mayor's already been introduced. Are they going to introduce like the villains or whatever? Like, are they going to have like an episode where, like, they first meet these villains, or these villains already exist? Like, I'm wondering about things like that, if you kind of understand what I'm talking about. So the volcano is about to erupt, and Blossom can't tell. She can't tell them the volcano is about to erupt until Bubbles says her name, or until Bubbles said her name. So the volcano ends up erupting. Frederick gets kidnapped and then saved. And for some reason, the monsters on this island have been blowing up throughout the entire episode. And it's almost like they're terror. I won't make that joke. Not today. So after a while, I was just like, where's the mayor? You know, wasn't he the whole point to coming to this island? And Buttercup decides that they should have a rap battle over the ticket to the concert. And Blossom started it off, and it was pretty good. You know, I would have liked to actually see the rap battle because I enjoyed it. That was one of my favorite moments from the episode. So the girls get grabbed by a monster, and then they're surrounded by mini monsters. And then the mayor's voice is heard in the distance. And at this point, you know, he hasn't been introduced in the episode. He's finally being introduced, and the episode's almost over. So I'm just like, he learned how to tame the monsters. And I knew it. He tamed the monsters with Pickles. And I love how consistent the characters are, because he liked Pickles in the original, and they brought it to the reboot. Blossom has her ice breath. They're doing an episode about Octi. I'm not sure how they're going to introduce all the villains, but, you know, it's consistent with the previous show. So they end up leaving the island, and the day is saved. Bubbles ends up going to the concert with Frederick, and that's the end of the episode. Alright, so final thoughts. The episode was alright. Nothing too great, and it wasn't bad. I wonder how well this show will do in the modern day. You know, being in the modern day doesn't hold it back in any way. It's just not super engaging at this point. But this is only the first episode, so things could change. This isn't like a negative review. This is just like, oh, the episode, you know, it was alright. It wasn't like fantastic. You know, like, I'm not like going crazy or whatever, but it wasn't bad either. I don't really like the new voice cast. You know, I feel like they should have contacted Tara Strong and everyone else for this. And I don't know the situation with that, but I'd love to know. And the animation doesn't really stand out, but it's not bad at all. It looks good. The original had like these thick black lines, which I kind of missed, but I think that was only for the Powerpuff Girls and some other characters, but I don't think it was for everyone. I don't remember too well. Yeah. So I don't remember much about this show, and I actually watched this show a lot, but this is an older show, so I don't remember watching it in like 05, which is the year it ended. I remember watching it in like 01, 02, 03, pre-2000, you know, back then. And it's funny because some of my friends remember things from it. Like, we were talking about this in college. Like, I was so excited about the Powerpuff Girls coming out. I was asking all my friends if they're going to watch it. And my friend made a Snapchat, and he actually remembered, you know, some stuff from it. So I don't know if he watched it recently or something, but I don't remember a lot from this show. So it'll be good to like go into it not really blank, but like kind of a canvas that's not like filled with information, filled with like drawings. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up at this point. But Ed, Edd and Eddy, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, and Codename Kids Next Door, I have trouble saying that one, those were some of my favorite shows from Cartoon Network, but I liked mostly everything on the network, and it'll be good to experience this show again while also having a new generation watching it and seeing their thoughts on it. Be sure to check out my episode 2 review, and I don't have my outro on here, so let me go get my outro because I don't remember it. Anyways, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you like my content and want to see more, be sure to subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and like me on Facebook. The links are below. I'm Surma11. See you next time, and peace out.